The Bible is my favorite book. It is most sustaining, bestseller, and most transformational book that's ever been in the world. You know, there are so many nice websites around the world, but my favorite ones are the ones in YWAM. And one of those is the website of Genesis, because you keep it right up to date and you always keep it exciting. And even now, I even get to be on it now this time. I love the teaching times because I love to interact in several locations at the same time. And since I've been to all those nations, I feel like I'm there again each time that I go by Genesis. The reason I enjoy that, first of all, so much is because I don't have to travel and get jet lag. The second part is that somehow we're more crisp and we can do more things in a shorter amount of time because we really get right to it. So that has a part in it, but we always still need the face-to-face and person-to-person as well. And then the third one came as quite a surprise to us, and that's in worship and intercession. And we have found, like in some of our international events, I think of the 2000 event, HUI, we call it, where we were able to go into all the continents and literally share what was going on in New Zealand worldwide. And the One Voice and other things that are coming up in this area, these are wonderful expressions of the body of Christ and of YWAM getting together from all the continents of the world, glorifying the Lord, praising Him, worshiping Him, and interceding for each other. In the ways that I have just given the area of teaching, and that allows multiplication of teaching, and some isolated locations would never get good teaching if they didn't have something like Genesis to share. YWAM worldwide, because we're expanding so fast. We're now in approximately 170 nations with full-time bases. How can we meet together? We can't all get together anymore, and that's what was so important in the early days of YWAM. It's still important. Well, we can do that now through Genesis. We can begin to meet together and in various combinations and even in larger groupings whenever we come together. So that helps us in our unity, and with unity God can command blessing. There's a synergy there of multiplication of all that we're doing in our ministries because of that Genesis connection. And so I can't begin to say what all it is. It's not a technology, as the Genesis people all say. It's about people. And that's why Genesis helps us. It gets people together with people. Well, one of the places I would pioneer would be in the Amazon. And we have now our first computers back there that are solar powered, and they go through satellite so that they can go right onto the internet. And now that Genesis is going onto the internet through broadband, now I would also say that I'd have to fill the earth with it. We're talking about 4,323 omega zones, so naturally, that's where every man, woman, boy, and a girl in the world live, in one of those 4,000 plus omega zones. So I would want Genesis in every single place. And if I had all the money and all the time, I would do exactly that, to say we want it in the biggest cities, the smallest towns, the villages, the remote, the uptown, every area. I think Genesis is needed. We have trained in our schools hundreds of thousands now, and we have over 300 different courses, and we're training in 60-some languages of the world now in just the University of the Nations. So as we are training 480 locations, what would I want to see if everyone were able to do the will of God for their life? That would be the greatest thrill. Now, what would be the outcome? I believe the outcome would be thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of new ministries born pioneered, started, and released out to serve the world. So the outcome would be they would begin serving the Lord in a way that would change the world. So if I look back on YWAM 100 years from now, I'd like to say they started 100,000 or hundreds of thousands of ministries. And that to me would be the most fulfilling I could think about. The one thing I would say to Genesis staff is you are pioneers. And you're pioneering something new. At first, people were looking at you and say, I don't need that. And secondly, that, oh, does it do that? And then pretty soon, I need that. So what we have to do when we're pioneering is never give up. We just don't quit. You don't quit because it's hard. You don't quit because people don't accept you. You don't quit because you run out of finances. You don't quit because you don't have enough people. You just don't quit. Now that's the big encouragement. And then, secondly, be encouraged. Look for places where God is really using Genesis and encourage yourself in the Lord. And then when other encouragements come, take it, enjoy it, and embrace it. But then also keep your eye on the future. And if you will keep looking toward not where you are, do look where you are and then say, oh, that's good, and encourage yourself. But then look for where you're not. And that will keep you motivated to go on. And then you'll find not just encouragement, but real deep down fulfillment. Because you're doing what God has told you to do, and you're doing something that's new, and pretty soon it'll become old. And that's when people accept it everywhere. And they don't know that you were a part of that beginning time, but you know it, and God knows it, and it's a wonderful thrill just to watch it happen.